terms of the organisation, we've been here since 1979 and we've grown with the city. And actually the services have developed, I think, very rapidly because the city's developed rapidly. And we've, I think, taken a community development model, certainly in the decade that I've been here. And it's become much, much stronger as we've gone through that period, because the diversity of people coming to Milton Keynes has greatly increased. So I'll come back to that. The services we offer are universal support and information services for anybody who wants to get involved in community activity, particularly if you want to get involved in group activity. So we're trying to get people to work together. So that's really the underpinning principle. And the sector is incredibly vibrant because Milton Keynes was set up under a development corporation that very proactively promoted getting involved, because everybody who moves here is new. So it's a great place to be a new person, because virtually all your neighbours, even if they've been here for 20 years, still remember what it was like to be new. So it is a very unique place. So I think in terms of incoming populations, wherever they come from, either within this country or across the world, have got a common ground, which actually probably makes some things easier to get going than in more traditional places. In terms of refugee organisations, I don't think we make any differentiation. We're absolutely passionate about everybody having the opportunity to be involved, so we make no differentiation, but we do focus quite a lot on more disadvantaged areas of the city because they do exist.
So some of our work in some targeted estates in Milton Keynes, we wanted to focus a bit more into what we were finding was there was a lack of or not quite as concentrated level of community activity in those estates as there were across other estates in Milton Keynes, for a variety of different reasons, whether that's whether the mix of skills was right, etc. So we developed a program called our Community Mobiliser program, which looked to place individual workers with community development experience to work with individuals within those communities around their ideas, their interests and their issues about their estate. Look at how they can start to develop their own actions around whatever their interest actually was at that point in time. And what that's led to is a complete different range of activities and actions dependent on the communities that they're in, dependent on the communities that they're engaging, the individuals that are taking part. And what we've seen is this mix across Milton Keynes from the different community mobilisers, largely based on this asset-based model where interests and skills originate from. So we're able to focus it on a generic basis, so rather than we're presenting an issue or an interest with people and expecting them to feed back to us. Actually it's starting from where their interests are.
My name's Jeanette. I am a support officer for membership and group services at Community Action Milton Keynes. My role is largely in information provision in terms of our website and Facebook, and I do some outreach visits and basic development work.
Okay, my name's Hannah and I'm a funding advice worker. So my role is to help voluntary and community groups to find and apply for funding. So we're not a grant-giving organisation ourselves, but I help to support them to find funding and check that they're set up properly. More recently I also work with groups to help them set up and develop as well.
I'm Lizzie Bales and I'm a community mobiliser and I work over on Fishermead, an estate in Milton Keynes. So there are 10 mobilisers across Milton Keynes and we work with schools, children's centres, families to get residents more involved in their local community and to help them set things up so that they want going in their community through engaging activities and finding out their issues, their interests, their ideas, and working with them to get training and to kind of motivate them to do things that they want to happen in their community.
I work as part of the outreach project, which is a project partly about mapping the voluntary sector, so finding out about the kind of groups that there are, but also it's about giving them an opportunity to meet up, network. We try and kind of put people together, match up groups that can kind of work to support each other. So that's another way that we kind of, that's another very effective way that we've reached groups. Our last meeting there were about 60 odd people, so it's that's going very well as well.
And we also do one-to-one visits as well as the other thing. Through the outreach project we have a certain target that we have to meet, but we basically go and meet with voluntary and community groups, find out what they're up to, see what support we can offer them, and then we signpost them onto other organisations or provide the support ourselves. So through that we've reached quite a wide variety of groups across Milton Keynes.
Well, the refugee community organisation that I work with is a Somali group that are based in Fisher Media Estate that I work on. And I first met one of the leaders of the group about a year or so ago at a hostel. He was living in a hostel on the estate, so I've been doing projects with them and I've met him. And he's been talking to me about issues that he felt that he was the voice for his community and various different issues and priorities for their group. So then I met a few more members of the group that way, and we have since looked into avenues of funding and how they can be more formalised as a group. And in this last year it's kind of come along that they're now constituted and now a member of Community Action MK, and I meet quite regularly with the chair and a couple of other members just to talk about their priorities moving forward. One thing they've highlighted and that we're doing in December is a Somali Health Day to look at some of the issues that they feel are really important in their community.
There's a great mix of skills in refugee communities and often much more able to engage at an organisational level with an organisation such as Community Action, where they are aware about what need that exists within their community in terms of what it is what action they'd like to take about it. It's more a case of how they establish themselves as a group, where they might access support, where they might access funding, how they might establish themselves as a group, as a registered group, and so that level of support, is required there.
They're quite proactive about how they get what they see as priorities done, as opposed to waiting for something to happen, which I think can be the issue with a lot of groups if they've been somewhere where a lot of services come in and done things to them and help them, and they don't necessarily have that drive or know how to get things done themselves. Whereas I think coming into this country or being new into an area, you're not necessarily aware of those services, so you have this attitude more that, well, we need to do it for ourselves because no one's going to give it to us. So I think in that sense it's quite inspiring to work with refugee community organisations.